Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the only place to be on a Monday evening with a huge superstar below me. Can you see his little... we got Ben Felton. Ben is running. He's on the live stream and podcast. Ben, this will go out as a podcast.
Brilliant.
So that's
Thanks
pretty
for having
awesome.
me on.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you back. So how this works, Ben, this is, I think because you've done the other show, haven't you? You've done the longer one.
Yeah.
So this is like 30 minutes, hang out, talk about running shoes or whatever anyone wants to discuss, really. We'll talk about anything on it. It's no holds barred. They will populate on the my right hand side. I don't know if it's your right side, but anyway, their comments will come in there and we will just have a chat and just hang out for like half hour or something, if that's all right.
That sounds good to me. What better way to spend a Monday evening, eh?
Nothing better to do. England ain't on, so we'll do that. If you are tuning in live, get your comments in, get your questions in for Ben. He's here to answer anything you want, running shoes and stuff like that. So get involved with that. I love the fact that Mick thinks we're going to be on for 45 minutes. We ain't, Mick. But anyway, actually saying that, Ben, I always say it's half hour and it ends up being 45 minutes. But yeah, so we will be here for the next 30 minutes and we will be answering all your questions. Get anything in there that you want to ask Ben about the shoes that he can talk about. I'll come on to that in just a minute. For me personally, just as a bit of a heads up, as you start joining us, I'm live with Kafuzi on Thursday at 7 o'clock, I think. So come and join that and support us there. And next week, and I don't know how he's going to do it, to follow in Ben's footsteps, we've got Thomas from Believe in the Run is going to be hanging out with us on next Monday. So he's got big boots to fill. So as the guys get coming in, Ben, just bring us up to how are you? What you been up to?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. We're currently in the process of moving house, so doing a bit of heavy lifting these days, getting lots of boxes over to the new place. We're in a lucky position where the place we're renting at the moment, we're here till the end of the month, so we're slowly moving things over to the new place. We're not rushing the moving process, and it's literally 10 minutes down the road, so we haven't used any removal companies or anything like that. We're just doing it gradually ourselves. So kind of got two places on the go at the moment, but yeah, no, everything's going well. Life's good.
Running wise,
going well.
What you do? What you training for?
I'm sort of doing some shorter distance races at the moment, so more 5 and 10Ks before I'll go back towards the marathons at the end of the year, because I'm sure, as you know, there's not really many marathons around in the summertime to get my teeth stuck into. So just doing some shorter stuff to keep me occupied for the time being.
Have you got a specific goal for the end of the year to achieve, or are you looking already in a 25 for a target?
Just to have a couple of good marathons. I'm actually doing 2 marathons at the end of the year, which would be good. One
is there a target one of those?
I'm going to be doing Valencia hopefully in December time, which will be more of the marathon specific target. I think I'm doing the Berlin in September.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah, well, I'll be there.
I'll have to hang out.
That's going to be huge, Ben. That's good. I'm telling you now, the guys from Believe in the Run are coming. Kafuzi's coming. It's going. I'm sure everybody else, every man, it's going to be like.
It's the 50th year as well, isn't it? So
yeah, it's going to be, honestly, it's going to be on another level. I'm sure Matt Choi will come over, because have you ever met Matt Choi?
I think I've been at an event where he's been there. I don't know if we ever had a chance to properly have a chat, but
he's an absolute beast. Don't let him hug you; he'll break you. He's he's the biggest dude ever. But like literally, everyone's descending on Berlin in September. It's going to be epic. And you'll be able to run in your Pro 4s that you're not allowed to talk about. Who was it?
I haven't got any Pro 4s just yet, but I've got a pair of Evos that are still sat in the box that I'm waiting to try. But
I was going to say, have you run in them yet? Or you?
Yeah, no, I was going to run in them at the weekend. I had a 10K yesterday, and I was planning to wear them for the first run, but I got to the race and the roads were really wet, and I'm looking at the bottoms of those shoes. I just thought there's no chance they're going to be able to handle any sort of slippery surfaces, so I just stuck with the original Alpha Flies. So
yeah, I saw that actually. Yeah, you went. I was going to ask you that. What made you choose that Alpha Fly? I saw something on your socials. Did your followers pick it, or how did that?
Kind of. I have basically a box upstairs with a pair of Alpha Flies, which are my like race day ones. So I only ever get them out of the box when I want to have a good race, and I just feel like they're the super shoe for me that I would pick out of all the ones I've tried to give me the best performance on the day. They're the ones I can trust, sort of thing. Obviously, there's loads of great options out there at the moment, but the Alpha Fly, OG Alpha Fly, is always going to be a special shoe. So to have that in the box up fresh pair in the box to get out on race day is always a nice privilege.
Nice. That is nice. Right. So if you're joining us slightly later, and again, I'll remind you just a bit, get your questions in for Ben. Ben, I've already seen a load in there, so we will get to your questions in a minute. Just all I would say is Ben is under embargoes that I'm aware of as well on some shoes. Okay. So there is questions that he can't answer, although he'd very much like to. And I know some of them have been accidentally been on Instagram, but there's some shoes that he can and can't talk about. So if we ignore a question, it's not intentional. It's because
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about things, but maybe we just don't say the name of
yeah.
certain things.
I tell you one shoe you can talk about because the embargo lifted today, I think, is the Elite 3 because they went on sale.
Yes.
Short. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, they look like a really good update. I only got a pair last week, so I've done the one run in them. I did a bit of a tempo run, and yeah, they felt really good. I think the main thing is the weight is a lot more competitive than the Fast R2. I really like the Fast R2 from Puma, but it just is a little bit on the heavy side, whereas the new Deviate Elite is a lot more competitive on the weight front. So I think that'll probably be their top super shoe moving forward. But I haven't really done enough running in it to be like have much of a verdict yet. But have you run
No,
it before yet?
I'm waiting for a pair. I was promised a pair, and then they used that for a photo. You'll love this shit. They used them for a photo shoot.
Right. Okay.
So my pair got used for a photo shoot.
X display.
Yeah, basically. So I want to refund. No, so I'm hoping that they come because I've got the Leeds 10K on Sunday. I'm going up to Leeds
cool.
For that. So I'm hoping I get them in time for that. But I'll be honest with you, that's the latest I know. All I got told was that they got used for a photo shoot, which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah.
To be honest,
His shoes are famous already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So there's those cool shoes coming out. There is another trainer that's out there that's due for release soon, that we can't name. But have you enjoyed that shoe without getting yourself into trouble?
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely loving that said shoe from said brand. But
yeah,
I think I've run about 250 kilometers in it so far.
Had that a while.
It's one of those shoes that once you've got it in your rotation, it's hard to pick anything else. It's just it's a slight upgrade from the previous version, but the small changes they've made to it have made what was already great like now exceptional. So yeah, it's one of those shoes that I can see myself down the line once I've worn it into the ground, but I'll end up buying myself a second pair because it's that good.
They just put you can get so many miles on. And Simon was asking me on Saturday, like I think he's on his third pair or something stupid. He's got like 300 on this pair already, because he literally he's like, I need another shoe because all I'm doing is all my miles.
Yeah,
but it's that good. You can do everything in it. It's one of those, isn't it? It's brilliant. It really is.
Yeah, it is a great shoe. The other new release is the Mizuno. I don't know if you've tried that, the Neo Vista.
Yeah, I've got that. I really like it.
Yeah, I had a run in it this afternoon actually. So
I noticed it was quite. Again, I'm returning from injury. Okay, so my mechanics, I would say, are not as normal. My paces aren't normal yet. Okay, normal for me, right? So I'm gingerly finding my way. What I noticed with the Neo Vista was how sort of hill biased it was at the slower speeds. When I was quicker, it was fine. It was but it did feel quite a hill like bias. I'm not sure whether that's a good thing or a bad thing for a hill striker, because I'm wondering the further you go back, whether it's too far back or actually that might actually help in terms of I'm not 100 because I'm not a heel striker anymore. I've worked over the years to move forward, but I just found it was quite a heel bias. But I really like the shoe. I just think is an everyday kind of shoe. It's great.
That's how it sort of fits into my rotation. I think Mizuno have sort of said it's more for like your tempo runs and maybe the slightly faster stuff. But for me, it feels a bit more like a recovery shoe. It's a very soft midsole, and because it has that big like cutout in the bottom, it's even softer because there's less midsole. So I find it compresses quite a lot, which when my legs are not feeling very fresh, then it feels really nice. I have done a few little tempo sessions at it, and it just feels a little bit too soft for me personally. I prefer something a little bit more something that's a little bit firmer.
It's got a little bit more about it.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. I think Kafuzi said it well. He said it was mushy.
Yeah,
And I
It's a
think
bit similar to an Invincible, but with the plate. That's how I feel.
yeah, you know what? You ain't a million miles away there. I think that if it didn't have the plate, I think it would almost be unrunnable for some.
Yeah.
It is, and I found the Invincible too mushy, and that's
Mm.
why it gave me the problems. But I think the wave plate in it just about saves the shoe for me, and it actually makes it rather enjoyable. Just to, yeah, just to, I do usually like a lunchtime run, which is like 4 miles up to 6 miles, and it's
Yeah.
perfect for that. You know,
Yeah, it's really nice.
you just throw it on, and I'm not a big fan of those one piece boot knit upper things.
Yeah, me neither, but
It works.
yeah, it does work with this one. Sometimes it's one of those things where if they get it wrong, then it's terrible because you can't do any like fine tune
Mm.
adjustments with a one piece upper. But
Yeah, yeah.
this one seems to fit around the foot quite nicely.
Yeah,
So
it does. They've done a good job. Last two shoes, and then we'll get into the questions. I've the have you got the Adidas no, not Adi Zero, Adidas whatever, Adi Star Beyond BYD?
no, I haven't. No,
I've started running in that. So if you
how is
haven't
it?
got it, yeah, I was really excited for it, and it's a bit.
Really?
So I've got to get much more miles. I aim to get a video out by the end of the week on it if I can. I think I've got like 18 miles in it or something like that already. But I was really excited because it's got like a bit of Light Strike Pro, a bit of Repeta in it. It's got like a plastic plate running through it.
Yeah,
And it had all the ingredients, but I don't know. I can't yet put my finger on it. Something's missing. And Adidas are having a really good year with like the shoes they're coming out with, right?
yeah, yeah.
But I don't know.
One shoe I've tried from Adidas that I've been getting on quite well with is the Supernova Rise.
Yes.
I thought that was going to be a bit like a Nike Pegasus, a bit boring,
Mm.
and I probably wouldn't use it that much. But that's one of those shoes that was surprised by. It's with that like is it Dream Strike they've
Blue
put in
Stripe
it or
Plus.
something
Yeah,
like that?
it's better than you think, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really good. I think for price point as well, it's probably one of the better options. And they've just
Yeah.
brought out like a
Prima.
beefy version of it,
Yeah, the
haven't they?
Prima.
So
Yeah, I
I'd be
think
keen
that's
to try that one out.
yeah, I think if you like the other one, that as a recovery, like you just said, you know, like where you said you're using the Mizuno, it might work in there
Yeah.
because it's quite soft. Last one, and then we'll get into questions. I've moved to the dark side. I've started literally the other day. I've done one run in them so far on running shoes.
Oh God. Not
Cloud
40 and
Monster,
on running.
Cloud Monster 2, I have, and I have the
Yeah,
Cloud Monster Hyper. I'm going to work with them. To be honest with you, it was not what I was expecting. The Cloud Monster 2. Now I know you like your on running shoes, didn't you?
I do. Yeah, the monsters are one of my favorite dailies I've ever used. So
How does that
um,
compare? Now that's the reason I looped it in. How does that compare to the first version of that shoe that we're not allowed to talk about? You know, in that sort of, would you put it in that sort of area?
no.
Okay, what's that?
So I think you're referring more to the hyper, right?
Yeah.
The sort of like beefed up version.
Mm.
That shoe, just to be honest with you, hasn't really worked for me. I
Okay.
prefer the original Cloud Monster.
Okay.
I know they've tried to put like the
They got the Piva
different,
foam. Yeah.
yeah, they put the Piba foam in there, and I don't know, for me it just feels a little bit unstable.
Okay.
And so I've tended not to use that so much, but the Cloud Monster, the original one, like works so well for me. And to be honest with you, the two, yes, it's a little bit higher stack height. They've made a few little tweaks to the upper, but it's basically a similar shoe once you put it on. So I I personally use the Monster a lot more just for the daily miles.
Okay.
But no, I don't think there's much of a comparison. The shoe we're not allowed to talk about is a league above in my opinion.
Fair. Oh, that says it all. That's all we need to know for anybody. But we're not allowed to talk about that shoe. Right, let's get into some of these. Now, again, if you're joining us late, get in there and ask Ben anything, really. He doesn't really care at all. So we'll just say good evening. Right, so this is a good one to start with. We always have a question, right? We've got Matt Nash comes on every week and asks the best questions ever. I'm sure we'll get to his at the moment. But okay, right. So Gary, Ben, what are your 3 shoes for a marathon training rotation?
So for my everyday runs and sort of longer runs, I would go for an Asics Superblast. Yeah, quality shoe. For that sort of marathon pace and interval training. To be honest, in my training, I use the Adidas Pro 3 probably the most of all the super shoes, just because I find that to be the most versatile. I
Hmm.
can do my fast, like 400-meter intervals in it, and I can do my sort of steady long runs in. And it's one of those midsoles that sort of adapts to any pace. Um, and then the third shoe that was going in that rotation probably would be like a Cloud Monster, a little bit less, has less like thrills, but for your daily miles, it gets the job done. It's comfortable, it's reliable, and yeah, those three would make up
Uh-huh.
a decent
That's a good.
rotation for me at
Yeah,
the minute.
that's a good rotate. I say I'm keen to get miles in them. I've got a few other shoes I've got to work through, but I just couldn't help myself. I wanted to get out in them just to see what it's all about. Steve, how many pairs of shoes survived the house move?
Oh, too many. I
I
need to
know.
do a bit of culling. Unfortunately, I've got size 7.5 feet, so bloody tiny. And yeah, it's tough trying to find teammates down at Chelmsford and just
Mm.
mates in general that have the same size feet. There's a few lucky people that get a lot of hand-me-downs, but yeah, I keep my shoes in the garden in these storage containers, and there's now two of them. So that's
Jesus.
all I'm going to say. There's
Yeah.
plenty of them.
Yeah. Although one upside to being smaller feet, Ben, you do get example sizes.
Yes, I do. Yeah, a lot of the time,
Yeah, you do.
sample size is usually UK 8 or EU 42. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can usually get a few little prototypes here and there as well, which is nice.
Yeah. Oh, look, here he is, Matt Nash. I need to do like a theme tune for this. Right, you ready? He always comes up with brilliant questions. He's such a nice guy. Right. Okay. For you both. Oh, what were your goals when setting up your YouTube channels? Have you exceeded those goals? Bad English from me. What more do you want to achieve with your channel? So this is a more YouTube based question. Again, brilliant from Matt. And again, last chat. Get your questions in, otherwise we won't get to the end of this evening. So get them in now. So Ben, because you've hit some milestones on Instagram and your YouTube channel's like blown up, which is just phenomenal to see. You know how much I love your stuff.
Thanks, mate.
So when you were setting up the channel, what was the goal? When you set
Yeah,
up?
to be honest with you, I started my channel um, ages and ages ago, just making videos for the fun of it, and then it was only in lockdown, in the COVID-19 pandemic, that I sort of transitioned my channel from. It was originally called Ben Felton Vlogs, which when I was at uni, I made some videos for fun, like documenting the uni experience, and then I changed it to documenting my running when in COVID, when I had nothing else to do basically, and I was furloughed from my job. So when I actually initially started out, I didn't really have any goals really in terms of like growing the channel to 100,000, whatever, blah blah blah. It was more just like something to do, and I wanted to document my journey. And then I think the second video I made was like a 5K top tips
Yeah, I remember it.
video, and it sort of that was the first video that ever got any traction on the channel. I probably posted about 50 videos before that one, and they'd all get about 100 views if I was lucky. And then I posted this one about how I improved my 5K time, and the channel just sort of blew up kind of over the next few weeks. So it was only then when I thought, oh, maybe if I keep this up, keep documenting my training, that maybe I could make a little bit of money from it.
Mhm.
So yeah, definitely exceeded my goals. I never imagined that I was going to be making YouTube videos of running as a full-time job. So
Nice.
yeah, it's crazy how things
And have
just
you
fall
got
into place
anything sort
sometimes.
of? Have you got like a target or something you specifically want to achieve with regards to the channel, or you know?
Yeah, no, not really, to be honest with you. I've never really been driven by like subscriber milestones. Obviously, I'm approaching 100,000, which I'm really looking forward to hitting. That will be
Yeah,
a
massive.
great
Huge.
achievement. But no, it's just mainly just to be able to continue living the life that I'm living, in terms of being able to go out and do my training, prioritize that, go on a few nice trips around the world, sort of thing, and yeah, just keep enjoying things. And as long as
I'm
that
gonna
continues,
I'm gonna blow smoke up your ass. So put your fingers in you. I mean, I'm not being funny, but that is just a genuine person. But believe me, he's about nearly reaching 100,000 subscribers, and it's just so humble and wholesome. I really appreciate that because this is what Ben's saying. It's not bullshit just for this camera for this podcast. That's just the way he is. So you've got to give him kudos. I'll give you kudos, man, because you're the real deal, and that's
thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
yeah, no, it's true. I'm not trying to embarrass you, but yeah. So there we go. So nearly 100,000. So if you are listening to this as the pod, because most people listen to this as a pod. And I think I said it last week. We get 1 million downloads every day.
Whew, that's
Um,
hefty.
but yes, make sure you probably are already following him anyway. But make sure you do, please, because it's really important. Because it
How
is
about
one of the.
yourself?
Oh,
I don't really
mine.
know about your journey in terms of like when you started and goals and aspirations for the future.
When I started 40 runs in 6 years ago, I don't know if you know the story, but sitting there in London Marathon on my own and all that sort of stuff, the
Yeah,
panic attack and all my anxieties and ADHD and everything that I have to deal with, like a lot of people. I didn't start the YouTube channel to do anything other than have that creative outflow for my. So I think anybody who suffers with ADHD can 100% resonate with it. The creativity is a great outlet for it. It gives you that sort of, I don't know, dopamine, but it helps. Yeah, it's having a creative outlook. For me, a creative channel or as seemed to help my ADHD. So and that's a real positive for me. So that was one of the sort of outlets that I had to deal with my ADHD. Now the channel for me is not sounds awful, but it's not really important. It's not. The club is, the fact of, we have 3,000 runners go out every
yeah,
week. We're about to announce some amazing things that are going to open up running to more people. The fact that we're taking down barriers across the country and all that sort of stuff. The channel's just really is just an outlet for me to have some fun. I love making videos. I love it. Again, that creative process, because it's just something I enjoy doing with what I do. But I don't really have any aspirations. More than you've said it. I don't care what I say, which it hasn't. If I'm honest, has a negative impact on people we work with and stuff. But it's just the way I am.
yeah.
I
No, I
just
respect that a lot, and I love the fact that you're like so community orientated because that's something for me that I never really thought about when I started the channel. But then all
mm,
of a sudden, you've got these people like following your personal journey. They interact with each other, and then all of a sudden, you've got like a global community of people that
it's
are
amazing.
encouraging each other to get into running, which at the end of the day is a great little
Yeah.
um, bonus to making a few videos on the internet.
Yeah, yeah, that's what what I mean. That I spend more time, with the club and doing that side of things, growing that and putting that first than anything else really. And that's the most important thing to me. Again, this is just me cocking about, hanging out with cool people like you. Right, Ben. What is your favourite distance, and what's the worst shoe you have tried?
Oh, favorite distance?
Mm.
It's got to be the marathon, really, hasn't it?
Do you really? I thought you'd say
Yeah,
something like a 10K, being the ninja that you are.
I do. I do like a 10K in terms of it's probably the race that I enjoy in the moment. But the marathon, there's something about the sense of accomplishment that you get when you
Mm.
cross a finish line, the months of training for it, and like I don't know, it's hard to you don't get that with a 10K. You might have a good result and then you're on a buzz for a few days, but with a
Mm.
marathon, when you put like a good few months of training and it goes well, you're on a high for the next sort of
Yeah.
6 months type thing.
It
I am
actually it
personally, but
breeds confidence throughout your whole year, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah, and I usually find when I'm in good marathon shape, I can do with the other distances and have a good crack at them as well. So yeah, definitely favorite distance is probably the marathon
What's
at
the
the
worst shoe
moment.
you've tried?
The worst you have tried? Oh, it's hard to
So many.
pinpoint one. Yeah. I tell you what, the cloud flow for me just doesn't work at all
Okay,
on running cloud flow. It's just too minimal for the type of shoe that I like.
that's
It's a,
fair enough.
it's a decent gym shoe,
Mm.
but in terms of running in it, it didn't really work for me, and I could already tell after the first few runs that I was feeling
Yeah.
the impact of the running a bit too much. And I think if I had carried on wearing it, it would have led to maybe a few impact related injuries like shin splints type things. So
Mm.
if I had to pinpoint one, sorry on running, but I've said some good things about your Cloud
Yeah.
Monster, but the Cloud Flow for me as a running shoe doesn't really
I
fit
think
for me.
it's interesting, but I think, when you review a lot of shoes and yourself as a runner, even on a first run,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, 9 times out of 10, I mean, don't get me wrong, some shoes you'll go, actually, 50 miles in or whatever, actually it's quite rubbish. But usually you get a good feel for it, don't you, when you put them on? You know what's going to work for you.
yeah. The other rubbish ones are the Nike Pegasus. I've never got on well with them. Like, I think I've watched
Andy.
Andy's video, yeah, where
I love
he
it,
told
Andy.
it how it was, and I was like, yeah, okay, I don't need to try
Yeah.
a 41 again.
Nah, it's brilliant,
It's the
that video.
same as whatever the 38, 37, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
They're all
yeah.
the same.
To be fair to it, it's better. The React
Yeah,
X is definitely better. The
yeah,
shoe has improved, but as somebody I think said on a comment on one of my videos today, it's improved, but it's still 10 years behind everything
yeah,
else.
yeah. When I saw like 13% more responsive, I was like, well, the phone was already like dead, so
Yeah.
13% more than what it was is not really going to be enough for me
Nah,
to give it another
no,
go. So
not for you. Not where you're at. And it's very it just feels like there's not much under the forefoot with it.
yeah,
It's a strange set. What's this one we've got? We're coming in. They're coming thick and fast now. Question for Ben: do you reckon the Takumi Sen would be a good half shoe or best for the 5 and 10K?
yeah, that's a good question.
Mm,
Definitely not a half marathon shoe for me personally. I prefer a bit more cushion underfoot. But for 10K, it's a pretty good option. It's very, very lightweight. I've raced 5K in it. And I've also done a marathon session, which was more like a half marathon
mm.
distance that I covered. I just thought after that it doesn't quite have the same pop as say a Pro 3.
Okay.
And because it is a bit more minimal, you don't get the sort of protection from the road as much. But I mean, you've seen some 5 and 10K, I think world records broken in
Yeah.
that shoe. So
Amazing.
obviously, in terms of performance, it's really good. But in terms of comfort, like I prefer going for the slightly more max cushioned pros.
Yeah, the Pro Free. Trevor Clare, we're going to come back to us on Friday, Trevor. We're going to try and knock in some of these shoe questions because quite a few. Come on to us live on Friday at 7 o'clock. We'll get into that one. Mick, basically, yeah, he said that without getting himself into too much trouble. Same with you, Gary. We'll come on to that one. Come on back to us on Friday. Ben, first, it was great to meet you at the Bath Half. Did you enjoy the Bath Half?
Yeah, it's really good. Did it with my little sister this year, and yeah, both had a good run. So I think we'll probably go back this year as well. Apart from
Okay,
that
cool.
big hill at the end,
Oh, is it?
it's a lovely course. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. And would you, Tom, and Callum ever consider doing a live version? Now, that's you on stage, boy, doing a live version of your podcast. If you don't know what it is, run it 3 ways. Check it out. It's on all podcast platforms. Definitely check that out.
Yeah, definitely.
I
The
think you
problem with
should.
Tom, Callum, and I is we're all really busy and we're all in kind of different places in the UK. So most of the time, it just works better when we're on a live stream because we can find an hour of time to do it. So we'd love to do a live version eventually, but we'd have to put a bit more thinking than we currently do into the show and
Just press
logistics and
record
stuff.
and then, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No, that
and
would be
also
good.
like getting all the equipment and stuff like that. I think there's a bit more behind the scenes that
Big money.
yeah, you don't really realize. Whereas when you do them podcasts from home, if you've got a laptop and
Off you
some
go.
headphones, you can go for it. So definitely something
Yeah.
I'd like to do in the future though. That would be
Yeah,
really
you
cool.
should get
Like
the old Pro Direct boys. Tom should get you sorted out there. Do a big
yeah,
podcast, can we?
we could definitely make it happen, but
Yeah,
no
100%.
plans at the moment, but you never
100%. It's a
know.
good idea, though. Steve's asked you got any track races planned this summer?
Yeah, plenty. 5,000 on Friday actually in which one is it? Finsbury Park in London. There's a Finsbury 5,000s
Wow.
festival.
Okay.
I think there's about 6 or 7 races, start at around 20-minute pace and then go all the way down to around 15-minute. So, yeah, that's my first one, and then I've got a few little 3Ks and maybe even a 1,500 chucked in there, because 'cause
Nice.
I'm part of Chelmsford AC, so there's lots of opportunities to do, like, athletics matches, so there'll be plenty of track races in the next sort of 2 months, and then I'll start training again for the marathons towards the end of the year.
Cool. Where we go here. Can we play one of FORDY's amazing games? I have the worst games. Ask Ben choices. So, okay, Ben, this is a good game. Good chat, actually, Lee. So, quick fire. 5K shoe. I think I know the answer to this.
Oh, sorry, I've got a girlfriend's calling me.
Oh,
Uh,
he's busy. He's
oh, sorry about
influencing.
that.
Yeah.
Best shoe for 5K. Oh, that's a tough one. Asics Metaspeed Sky Paris.
I thought you was going to go to Kumisen. Okay. A 10K.
10K. Probably Alpha Fly original Nike.
OG.
Yeah.
Half.
Half marathon. Probably would be Alpha Fly again, or I don't know. At the moment, definitely between the Sky Paris and Alpha Fly for me are my top like racing shoes. So
Mm.
when it comes to any distance, I go for them. But
So, yeah, that answers the full as well then. But so be out of one of those two. Have you
yeah,
tried the Edge, by the way?
I haven't done not in this time, not this time round.
Mm.
I
Okay.
tried it with a plus, but found that just the Sky was a bit better for me. So I thought there's no real point trying it again.
Definitely.
In terms of full marathon, though, I'd consider using the Pro 3 from Adidas because that's what I got my personal best in.
Which is what, just remind the viewers and listeners.
Sue 24
It's
in
so good.
in Boston last year. So yeah, that shoe's always a good option for the longer distance for me. It's one that I can trust.
I was just chatting to somebody. We're doing a plan, 10K plan for him, and we was having 3 minute kilometers and stuff like that. It was just like, it blows my mind the speed you guys run. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
It really is.
I,
Okay.
try, I tried running 3 minute kilometer pace for a 10K at the weekend, and it didn't go so well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I ran the first 3K in about 9 minutes, and then it was I hit a wall very, very early on in the race. So yeah, that was an interesting experience. I can just about hold it for a 5K, but nowhere near for a 10K at the minute. But
I know it's
yeah,
frightening. It was frightening. He's looking to go. He's looking to go under 33 minutes.
wow, okay,
So
speedy
yeah,
guy.
I've got my work cut out. But we'll get him there. Don't worry about it. We'll get him there. He lives in the world's hilliest place, so
Oh,
he'll be
really?
fine. Oh yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Just find some flat, then he'll
Yeah,
probably do
exactly.
it.
That's what I'm saying to you. Get him to run on the flat.
Come
Be all
to
right.
Essex,
Yeah.
you'll do it.
Right, Supernova Rise or SL2. Have you tried the SL2?
I haven't done, no.
You need to
So
try
I'd
that.
I'd go Supernova Rise, obviously, because it's the only one I've used. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I haven't tried the SL2. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure how that would fit into my rotation, really. But is it?
It's I like a daily shoe as like
Yeah,
more of the up tempo ones. I'm more of a Rebel 4 guy, Max
yeah,
6 kind of guy. And the SL2 came out of nowhere, stuck Light Strike Pro full length in it, and it really is just a great shoe to go out 3-4 miles, treadmill. You know, if you've
yeah.
got like I don't know, a bit of a threshold run, it's just a really easy shoe. And if you go to Start Fitness, use my code, you get it for under £100. It's like a no
Yeah, that's
brainer.
really good.
Yeah, it's a really good sort of everyday runners like up tempo shoe, and you could easily, do a quick part run in it, easy.
Mm.
It's a great shoe. I'd recommend you have a look at them. To be honest with you, no carbon in it, nothing like that. So
Yeah. There's not really many shoes on the market at that sort of price point that are half decent as well. So
yeah, it's a belter.
I'll definitely have a little
I'm
look at that.
conscious of the time, so let's bash through these. Any all good round stability shoes for everyday mileage and speedier sessions? I would look for. All round for speedier sessions, I'd look at the Brooks Hyperion GTS. There is a new version coming. All round good stability shoes. Check out the New Balance 860 version 14. What's this? Oh, this is a good one for you, Ben. Most bizarre product you've ever been asked to review or promote.
I get some wacky ones, to be honest with you.
I turned that honestly. I delete so much crap now.
Yeah,
Again, because we said it, I can't bullshit, and I'm not saying you do, but I've got less than zero interest. Even like if they're offering to pay, and it's not actually a bad product, but I'm thinking I can't be genuine about this
yeah.
because
How do I fit that into my content
it's not. It
sometimes?
doesn't fit in, and like they were
Yeah.
asking me to do this fuel thing the other day, and I was like, I've got no interest, and so
I think one of the weirdest ones I got was this mirror thing that was for doing your makeup, and it was sort of like it folded out. It had all these like compartments to put your different products in, and I was just like, "How has your PR team like picked me out to send that email to?" And it was like one of those Amazon like affiliate link things, and I don't know.
that's brilliant.
It did make me laugh a little bit, but
That's brilliant. Oh, this is a good question. Robert, we've got loads of questions, my opinion. We'll do another 5 minutes, yeah? Question for both. Which running YouTuber do you enjoy watching the most? Present company, obviously. Put that to answer.
yeah,
Now,
my
who do you
favorite's
like?
definitely Philly. I think at the moment she's up and coming, and yeah,
Yeah,
her
100%.
content is really good. Her and
Her stuff on TikTok's brilliant.
yeah, I love it. So I find myself watching her stuff quite a lot. I love watching the FOD runner as well. Like I
Yeah.
watch a lot of his videos. It's just like you can whack it on and have your breakfast, and you know what you're going to get from his videos. So I do enjoy watching him as well. I used to love like Seth James Demore, like when he was doing his
It's gone
daily
nowhere, isn't
stuff.
it?
Yeah,
Disappeared.
I've not heard from him in a long time, but he was a daily sort of watch for me, but um, not so much anymore. And then I love like the Sweat Elite podcast.
Right.
Callum as well from our podcast Distance Project. He's doing some great stuff, trying to do some different content with more elite level athletes.
Oh,
Clayton Young as well. I don't know if you follow him. He's from America. He came second in the US marathon trials,
wow.
and he's training for the Paris Olympics. So he's just started a series. So to be honest with you, there's a lot of good content coming out at the moment across YouTube. So yeah, I watch a hell of a lot, to be honest with you, which is probably why I haven't been making so many videos lately. I've been
You've been
consuming
busy.
too much.
You've been busy. Yeah, but that's a good thing. You just made a good point. There is something out there for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters who you are. There's something out there for everybody, which is just great.
Mm.
That's really.
And Aubrey as well. He's got to be a shout. Give Aubrey a shout
Yeah,
out.
yeah. We've had Aubrey. I think Aubrey's been on. I'm seeing him. I saw him. He came to. Did a Brooks event, and he
Yeah.
popped along to that. And he said he's going to be running the Saucony 10K. So I'll hopefully see him there.
Yeah.
What I was going to give a shout out to, who I absolutely love, is the Serious Runner.
Oh
Have
yeah.
That
Yeah.
guy. And when he gets Sage on now, it's even better.
Yeah, they're funny, them two together.
They don't take anything seriously at all. It's brilliant stuff. That is. I think. Yeah. There's like you say. There's something out there for everybody. So whoever you're following, whatever you want to do, there's so much out there. So much. It's a good question. Will you be vlogging your Berlin Marathon training?
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Yeah,
I'm so pleased you're coming to
silly not
Berlin,
to.
bro. That's really, honestly, that's brilliant news. I'm so excited. That's going to be off the charts this year.
Yeah, I'm
Really
really
is.
looking forward to it.
Oh, this is a good one. I don't even know why we're giving this airtime. Running Shoe Business is a big scam. If you've only just worked that out, well done. It is. The whole thing is. It's all marketing. Random. Boston 12 or Speed 4 for half marathon distance?
Half marathon distance training. Both are really good options. I probably would go Boston 12 for me, just because the speed is great, but the 4 for some reason is a little bit. It comes up a little bit long and narrow for me. I don't know if you found that at all. The speed 2 and 3, I didn't have that issue, but the fit for me just feels a little bit off.
Okay.
But the Boston, both are very similar in terms of like
Yeah.
the way they fit into my rotation. So I'd be happy with either, to be honest with you. They're both great options.
What's this? Okay, we'll do this is the last one, because I'm conscious I've said 30 minutes.
Yeah, no worries. I'm not in any rush.
So they've just joined late. Is it just shoot? Or can I ask if anyone's Garmin predicted time, because they just put in there, Garmin predicted time is ever accurate? So is that actually, because of your level, is that something you look at, or do you not?
Yeah, no. So my Chorus for 5K at the moment says I can run it in 14:45.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and my PB is 14:42. So I've got a race on Friday, which is a
Right.
5K. So we'll see how close it is. But it often is a little bit generous on my marathon times. I think it says 2:16 for my marathon, which is about 8 minutes quicker than I've ran. And the half marathon is about right as well. So for the 5, 10K and half marathon, it does seem to be fairly accurate. But I definitely think it gives me the top end of what you can achieve on like a day where everything goes absolutely brilliantly, which is not obviously a reality for most of the time. You're never going to have a completely flat course. You're never going to have everything click. So, yeah, take them with a pinch of salt. I think it depends also on how much data you put into your watch. So I always wear a heart rate monitor when I do my training. So it knows when I'm in a race, like what my max heart rate is and stuff like that. So I feel like the calculations it does with the algorithm can be a bit more accurate. But yeah, I've seen some people's is just miles off, aren't they? So
yeah, but I think you hit the nail on the head. It's data driven, so you have to
yeah,
remember that it's data driven. And also, I think you're bang on in terms of the marathon. I think it's very generous on the marathon.
yeah,
But that's basing it on certain key points. So, like the performance coaching app that we use, right, on our side of things, on the coaching, the predictions are more accurate, I find, than the Garmin. So, like my friend Ben, I loaded him on there the other day, because it's just easier than asking all these stupid questions when I'm with him. But it was like literally within seconds of his predicted time was spot on.
Yeah.
But I asked him to put so much data in there, but also his like races, his most recent races. So the AI, the algorithm, was able to really build a decent picture. And everything that he's done he's either done it on his tripod or he's done it on his Garmin. So it had so much data to take it from, and it's consistent. The problem is that a lot of people, normal people, aren't as consistent as probably what the watch thinks it needs to be. So that's where you get the variations in times. But you're right, the 5K, 10K going into half tend to be more accurate because it can get a little bit more of a more data from what you're doing in your workouts and your races. But it's kind of interesting. Mine's about right as well at the moment. I would say I've slipped over where I was injured 6 weeks. Mine slipped over 20 minutes on the 5K and stuff like that. So it's bang on.
Yeah,
it's not wrong. But I think they're kind of cool tools to have actually. I kind of like
it's good to have a rough idea, but I wouldn't follow it as gospel. Just obviously you can get much more of a understanding from recent race results and training sessions and stuff like that than what your watch is telling you. So
like you said, the zones, like you're wearing a strap every time. Like every time, so it's got that constant on which it can base the data off of. If you're basing it on the heart rate on your watch, then it's going to be intermittent because there's so many varying factors. So, and again, you may not necessarily wear certain things at certain times. So it's so many different things to be involved. But it's a good question, very good question. Right, Ben. Where can people find you, see you, hear you if they aren't already? Because I'm guessing they are. Because on the basis he's coming up to 100,000 subscribers, I'm guessing most of you already are. But just in case there's some people out in the Philippines, which are huge listeners of this, by the way, they need to find you. Where can they find you?
Yeah, so my socials are all the same across every platform. Ben is running. Longer form content, obviously, on YouTube, where I do more documenting of my training, my races. And then on Instagram is probably my other most sort of used profile, where I do more short form stuff, reels, and just general daily updates on my story and stuff like that. So yeah, Ben is running across all platforms.
Cool, all platforms. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. I really do appreciate it. I mean,
I really enjoyed it.
You know how much I love you.
Honestly, yeah.
If you aren't subscribed to Ben's channel, please do, because it will be the first place that you'll be able to see anything on the Superblast too. And
as soon as I'm allowed to talk about it, I
when he's allowed to talk. But most importantly, I think the reason to watch his review, other than the fact that he's just an awesome guy anyway, is he's put some serious miles into that shoe. Okay, so out of anybody, any reviewer, I think many people struggle to find, because of the mileage you do, how the sort of in depth in which you'll give that. So make sure that you do check out when he's allowed to put it out, on the date that he's allowed to put that out, that you watch his video first, because as I said, he's put a what's it load of miles through that shoe that we're not allowed to talk about. Anyway, right, Ben, thanks very much. I really do appreciate it. Let me get the outro ready and make sure I don't play the intro again, which I usually do. And Mick, yes, you were. Mick was right. See, Mick was right.
He's nearly got 45 minutes out of us.
We got 45 minutes out of the boy. It's amazing. All right, Ben, thanks a lot. We'll catch you later.
Thanks, mate. Good speaking with you.